Welcome to Daddy Bits, our trade idea show hosted by yours truly, the Trading Daddies. I am your host, the Master Crayon Eater. John is enjoying his vacation. Please come back. I'm running out of ideas. I'm just kidding. So it is my pleasure to show you guys the plays that we talk about on a daily basis. Again, not financial advice. If you guys like this content, make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button, hit that post notification bell, give us a nice preemptive thumbs up if you guys like this content, and comment down in the section below the stocks that you guys want us to cover. And the question for today is AMC done? Is it over? Is the AMC run over? If you guys want to know more, make sure that you guys tune in after this intro. Here we are. Let's take a look at the QQQs for the day. Let me see. There you go. The QQQs had a fairly positive day despite this sell-off that we're looking at right now. If we take a look at what happened here, notice that there's this level of support that I drew because of that range that we were talking about, that it was going to trade within this range for quite some time, and it kind of broke off yesterday, and it did bounce off of that range. So I think there's going to be more tomorrow. I'm fairly positive about what's going to happen tomorrow. We saw a lot of good plays, a lot of growth that popped today. A lot of it's squeeze season, so there's a lot of squeezes that definitely happened. Let's take a look at intraday for the QQQ. Right there, let me zoom out. Right there. So we hit a very good top, and it kind of dip all the way to that level of support that I was talking about earlier, and it bounced off, and it kind of laid flat for the rest of the day, which is, to me, it's a good sign, knowing that there's going to be support or buyers here at the bottom. So we definitely have more room to go tomorrow. Let's take a look at NASDAQ futures. NASDAQ futures are looking a little flat for today. It's still fairly early though, so I mean, we're not going to find out more until overnight happens. But that's pretty much it for the QQQ. It is a market where you're allowed to go long in certain places, so start swinging. It's not a day trade type scenario. There's not a whole lot of chop that's happening. We might see tomorrow a nice pop if you guys are day trading. Take your profits as soon as you guys can. Take your profits and then look for the next play. If you are going long, your high conviction play should be printing out. But if you're looking at new positions, I would definitely do more of your due diligence in order for you to have that kind of conviction. Because if you don't have that kind of conviction, you're not going to believe in the play, and you're going to sell ultimately at the top. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's completely nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. That's a trader's psychology, right? Let's take a look at the SPY. The SPY is in, let's see here, sorry. SPY, yeah, there you go. The SPY looked really nice today. Not because, obviously it's a red day for the SPY, but it bounced off of that EMA 9. And you know how we trade out here. We use the technicals a lot. And this EMA 9 bounce, that's pretty primo. I like it. I'm really liking that. Intraday for the SPY, it kind of followed what the Q did. It dipped all the way to this low, bounced off of that EMA 9, and we kind of traded sideways all the way through to the end. And SPY futures, let's see here. SPY futures, that's not the 15-minute chart. SPY futures are looking, similar to the Qs. I mean, it's fairly positive. Again, it's a scenario you kind of want to go long on your certain plays. And that's pretty much it for the market conditions. Let's take a look at the first play that we want to go over, and that is CLOVE. A lot of players on CLOVE today printed. Let me see here. CLOVE is a stock that was heavily shorted. I mean, there was a hit piece that was that kind of popped during the start of all the FUD. Hedge fund said that CLOVE is not a viable company. It's a sham, whoop-de-whoop or whatever. But today was one of those days where if you would have held throughout this turbulence and accumulated, you would have been rewarded rewarded greatly, right? We saw this nice massive pop yesterday from 934 all the way to 1184, and that was not it. That was not the end of it. It gapped up ultimately. There's this big gap right here. Mind you guys, when it comes down to these squeeze plays, there could be a scenario where it could fill the gap all the way here, right? That right there, all the way up to previous highs and before shooting back up. So again, we're in overbought territory, actually overbought territory, because RSI is above that 70 mark. So manage your risk accordingly. If you guys are following these plays, make sure that you guys are getting in at optimal times, getting out at optimal times, making sure that you guys collect your profits and protect them as much as you can. And if you guys win on these trades, make sure that you give us a nice, thumbs up, give us a nice shout out, give us a nice follow on all our social media. And if you guys lose on these, just, hey, we warned you guys, right? The next, actually, let's take a look at intraday, because something interesting happened intraday for CLOVE. It ran even higher. So intraday, we ended the day at 2274 and then it ended up at 2341. So there's going to be more. This is going to gap up tomorrow. I expect a nice little sell-off. If you're trying to get into CLOVE, I would definitely wait for the sell-off and watch for the buyers to pick up the pieces at the very end before ultimately going back up. There's some room there to exploit for sure. And then to answer the question that we had today, is AMC done yet? Is AMC over? One thing to note about AMC, right? We are seeing a little bit of a pullback on AMC, because this is what happens. This is what happens when there's a short squeeze, especially if we're talking about the MOAS, the mother of all short squeezes. A lot of the other plays, a lot of cheaper plays, are seeing some action because obviously people want to get into something cheap and ultimately ride it out if it is a short squeeze. One thing to note, though, I just want to give a shout out to one of our Discord members, Andrew. Andrew pointed this out to me earlier. Shout out to Andrew Wynn. He pointed out that the wedge that I had before was kind of like just a basic wedge, like a simple pennant. But if we take a look at the highs, right, from the original pop, we're seeing an ascending triangle, and that's a beautiful flag, by the way. So as long as we're trading within this range, we're definitely going to see a little bit more of a pop on AMC. And again, we're still above the highs from yesterday. We did bounce off of that trend line, so we're still within that trend. I don't expect another move until like the 11th, the 10th, or the 11th. So keep on watching AMC. There's more for AMC, in my opinion. I'm still holding on to my shares. I am still doing some covered calls so that I can protect my my long position as much as I can. One thing to note, after hours, we ended at 55.05. After hours, we're a little down for 54.91. Still some action on level 2 right here. So I would not be bearish on AMC. If this dumped after hours, then I'd get a little scared. But in the meantime, I'm not alarmed at all. So I'm willing to hold on through this volatility as I see it. The next stock that we want to cover is Fisker. Fisker is also another play that got squeezed, and I feel that there's going to be more on Fisker tomorrow. I just want to pull up this chart for Fisker. There you go. This is a 15-minute chart, which I'll show later. One thing to know about Fisker is beautiful. This is a beautiful chart. So if you take a look at the EMA 9, it crossed over the 50. Very bullish, right? Very bullish. So we saw, this doji. Usually what a doji means is a change in trend, and the trend went up. So that's kind of like where the direction is going to go moving forward. And notice that this EMA 20 is about to cross over the 50. But once that crosses over, we're in it to win it. And one thing to note, and the reason why I'm fairly bullish on Fisker, although I do have a position in Fisker, I added more calls today. One thing to note about Fisker is after hours, it moved higher. And the reason for the move is because it got upgraded at the end. Let me see here. RBC Capital initiated a coverage on the stock to outperform, and a price target of $27. So this is very bullish news. If you are in Fisker, I currently have the 17.5 strikes that are expiring on the 16th. So I mean, do what you must with that information. Again, not financial advice, so don't say that I didn't warn you guys if you guys lose money on this. But I am excited for Fisker because it reached a high of 1941, and it kind of faded a little bit and traded sideways through the rest of the day, and it's still running up a little bit. So that's definitely good news. And the last stock that we want to cover is actually from a viewer of ours. Let me see here, from a viewer of ours. Let me see, get his name. I didn't want to butcher his name there. From Pablo Magallanes Jr. He was asking about Express. Now, Express is I think Express is another one of those stocks that could get squeezed if it hasn't already. $5.77, and I don't think this has squeezed yet. We are trading below the RSI. I like this chart actually. Express looks like a fairly good chart to trade at. Let me take a quick look at how much short interest is on Express. EXPR. On Express, there's not a whole lot of short interest actually. I might be wrong because this data is from May 14th, so I might have to do a little bit more digging on Express as a whole. But I believe that this is a fairly good chart. If you're going to go long Express below the RSI, I like it still. You might squeeze in a couple of bucks here and there on Express, but by no means am I bearish on this chart because it's still above, and the MACD already over here has not curled down. So that's pretty much it for today's episode. I hope that you guys got some information from all of that. And if you haven't yet, make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button, hit that post notification bell, give us a nice thumbs up if you guys like this content. Comment down in the section below the stocks that you guys want us to cover. Follow us on all social media. Follow me at Trading Poppy. Follow John at John C Trades, Trading Daddies for the both of us. TradingDaddies.com for all your news, your merch. Robinhood sucks for 15% off your entire purchase off of our store. And please, if you haven't yet, make sure that you guys hit up friends over at Bust Down Investments if you just want to learn how to be a new trader, learn to become a better trader, and just brush up on your skills, or just join a community of traders that have a common goal. Make sure that you guys hit up Jay over at Bust Down Investments. He'll definitely show you the right path to get started. That being said, remember guys, to let's get trading, and the charts do not lie.